it would be incredibly indignant at this point to go through these sorts of videos, and for me to say that, well, for people, for there to be, for some semblance to be said that I have no concept or can't discern the difference between habit or addiction, because that's technically not true. Um, Whether or not I want to do like a follow up video to something like this, a much longer, elaborate one, is certainly up for consideration. But when I was a teenager, so when I was 14 years old, it was round about that time. I must admit I did have a little bit of an addiction. It was specifically to junk food, and among many, and it's and before some people say, well, that's just because you were a teenager and you're going through a growth spurt, and it's just part of puberty and stuff like that. Sometimes you just literally will wake up one morning thinking, what on earth is happening to my body? Stuff like that. However, it probably also didn't help by the fact that, and I've gone over the story before about how nothing seemed to be going right when I was in school. Everybody seemed to be rewarded for things that, to be honest, I was also doing, but I didn't get no recognition for it whatsoever. And yeah, and to be honest, and I had no real social life or even really any social skills to speak of. So all I would do is just sit literally in this room and stuff my face. And I didn't really care how much money I spent on junk and garbage, because to be honest, it's one of those things. It's never really gone away. And but with that being said, it's in no way ruined my life or anything like that. But I did want to make a point that I know I'm perfectly aware of, when it does, because sometimes it literally would be easier to just not do these sorts of videos at all, stuff my face, crawl into a bottle, and say that's what life's all about. But with that being said, we can't also forget that, um, about the sort of people who are struggling with addiction. And honestly, I really wanted to do some sort of like outreach program to a charity of some description about stuff like this, because it is generally one of those areas, I suppose, that I do want to know a little bit more. In fact, not necessarily that, but I want to know how we can actually make people's lives better again.